So I guess I should explain my role. Sales performance consultant. LinkedIn has its own internal sales teams in a couple of different areas. The area that I work in is the marketing services area, which is the paid advertising. Ooh, dirty word. But a lot of the sales teams I work with across the Asia Pacific region are selling to, well, actually, our part of the business, we sell to small to medium businesses, but they're not as small as perhaps your businesses, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. So I really sort of think about, well, what works for them works for you, what works for you can work for them as well, because a lot of the businesses that these sales teams are working with were once very small businesses, and they've grown. And as they grow, marketing grows and spending grows, and that's just the nature of the beast. So I've always had this passion for small business anyway, so we're just marrying all of that together. LinkedIn makes its money obviously from selling its actual membership to the platform, but it sells talent services, recruitment services, it sells Sales Navigator, big part of the business, and of course the marketing services. So if I do refer tonight to paid advertising, I know that may not apply to all of you, but you can perhaps aspire as you grow your business. Every day we talk about the mission of LinkedIn being to connect the world's workforce with economic opportunity. So I've just narrowed that down to connecting to opportunity. So if you think about what can I do, how can I use LinkedIn to connect to an opportunity to network, an opportunity to collaborate, an opportunity to grow your business, an opportunity to learn, to expand, to do lots of different things. I'm thinking that most of you are here to connect to ways to get clients. Would I be right? Yeah, lots of nods. Okay, so let's get on with it. So from a small business perspective, there is an actual strategy behind how what LinkedIn is focused on with small businesses, and there's a couple of things I just want to pull out from this. One is that it's a professional online presence, and we'll talk about professional presence in a moment as well. Potential clients, we've just talked about that. Build brand awareness. If nobody knows about you, then why would they ever buy from you? It's a really big topic in what we're doing day to day in LinkedIn at the moment, but it's also a big topic for anyone in the marketing space or who's looking at marketing. And we're going to talk about company pages and why that's going to be a big game changer for you. Hang on, press the right way. Okay, why LinkedIn? I'm not here to, pump LinkedIn down your throat. However, there's lots of good reasons why LinkedIn's a good place for you, and I'm not going to go through all of these things, but did you know now we have over 1 billion members worldwide and over 15 million members in Australia? So if you think, are my ideal clients on LinkedIn? I think they probably could be, because there's a lot of them on there, particularly when you think that have I got it on there? Yeah, 96% of Australia's employed population. So you want your clients perhaps to be employed or to have money, otherwise they won't pay for what you do. Lead generation is very much a part of this marketing services team that I work with. And brands are seen as high quality on LinkedIn. Very different from the brands that I often get caught up buying from when I'm scrolling Facebook. What are those brands? Where are they from? Where are they supplying their goods from? Professional presence and high quality brands. We also see very good organic results. So a lot of what I talk about is how do you leverage LinkedIn in a way that doesn't cost you any money. So we'll go through that as well. And small businesses are seeing engagement on LinkedIn because it's a groundswell. So the more small businesses that are on LinkedIn, the more that potential clients are using LinkedIn. We're all sitting back and scrolling, hopefully with battery power in the next few days. And so when I think about it then, how do I boil it down to why is it really good for you specifically? So the professional context, when people are looking on LinkedIn, they're thinking professional. They're not thinking, I'm trying not to put down Facebook because I like Facebook. I use Facebook a lot. But they're thinking professionally when they're looking at LinkedIn. And probably a really, really key point, which is so important right now, is the trusted environment. LinkedIn has been the number one trusted platform for many, many years now. And it's trust and safety. So those of you in the room, and I know some of you are really well versed in LinkedIn, and perhaps some of you are still emerging. Who's got a verified profile on LinkedIn with a green tick next to it? A couple of you. Okay, so there's a verification process that you can go through where you provide your ID, and it verifies you are who you say you are. Some people don't like that because they don't want to provide their details. I get that, but that's what that verification thing is all about. It's all about the trust and safety. Obviously, the global reach, as I said, 1 billion members. So if you've got a business that you could attract clients from all over the world, then it's your place. And AI features. Who's used ChatGPT as an example? Oh my God, lots of you. That's amazing. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I would love to say that I asked ChatGPT to build this whole presentation. I didn't, but I did ask it for a few ideas, just to pull the structure together. So what LinkedIn has is some AI features that will help you in your posting and suggestions for content and a whole bunch of things. So we can talk about that a little bit more. Obviously, I don't know if you knew, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, hence the real big connection to AI as well. It's something that I hear about all day long, is AI. I'm not really that bored with that, I love it. And it is such a great place to learn things. So a lot of people a lot of thought leaders who are providing content on the platform would be content that you might learn from. There's also LinkedIn Learning, where you can do the courses as well. But it's, you're bound to learn something new if you scroll through your feed. And when you find the people that you want to follow who are providing that value to you, you can choose to be notified or to have that content in your feed. You can customise your feed. You have a lot more control over your feed than you might do on other platforms. So they're all good reasons why it's a really good platform for small businesses. And at the end of the day, and I don't know if some of you have probably heard of Zig Ziglar, a famous sales trainer in the US, who's got some great quotes. And at the end of the day, when people are looking to do business, it's fine if they get to know you and they like who you are, but they've got to trust that you've got something of value for them, and they've got to trust that you are who you say you are, and trust that it's it'll be a good experience to do business with you. I'm just going to pause there for a moment because I've just realised I think there's a bit of food left. So if any of you guys want to hop up at any time, don't be shy. I don't mind if you hop up, grab a drink, grab some food, whatever you need to do. So because we're a small crowd tonight, it's easy to get around the table. So don't be afraid to. See, because it is a small crowd, we've got food left over. So that's a really cool thing. Glad you came out tonight. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. So the number one thing I want you to really take the concept away tonight is that you, as a small business owner, you are the expert at what you do. And LinkedIn is a great place through your personal profile to present yourself as a thought leader in what you do. Your personal profile is really the basis of your engagement on LinkedIn. I will go into company pages, but share your expertise, because the more you share, the more your potential client is going to think, gee, this person really knows what they're talking about. I'm really getting value just from looking at their posts. If I'm getting that much value from them on LinkedIn, imagine how much value I'd get if I actually engaged with their services and paid them some money. Imagine the extra I would get. So that's really the way to promote yourself. It's promote yourself and your brand, or you may be your brand, personal preference, and to actually gather people along with you as well. So Luke talked about being a connector and to build that community. Well, you can do that on LinkedIn by finding people, connecting with them. As you see them in your feed, connect with them. You know how you can connect or follow? Have you seen that on LinkedIn? If you see someone and it only has the follow button, there's 3 little dots next to it. Click on that and you can actually, most of the time you can connect with them. I don't know if some of the big world superpowers allow you to connect with them, but anyway, you can always try. So I really want you to think about promoting yourself. Sorry, I shouldn't say promote, just share your expertise and make sure that you build that community of network around you. Some people are a little hesitant to build the network, but what's the point of being on LinkedIn and sharing all this value if people are not seeing it? So think about who you could connect with, and we did this tonight in the room, connecting with everyone in the room, and if you haven't yet connected with me, is my QR code there? I don't think it is.
It's in the green one. It's your LinkedIn details in the...
Oh, okay, cool. Feel free to connect with me tonight as well. So to build your network, you don't have to connect with everybody. If you get connection requests from all sorts of crazy people, you don't have to connect with them. But why not build your network? The more people that see you and understand what you can do for them, the wider your reach can be. All right, so I always talk about, organic attraction, because if I asked every one of you in the room, there's probably a lot of you that say, oh, I'm not a salesperson, oh, I don't want to be salesy, I don't like asking for the business, I don't like promoting myself. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. That's very, very normal. But what I do think is we can flip that and think about from a marketing perspective as it being a funnel. You want to funnel as many people, or you want as many people as you can to see you, connect with you, build that community, so that as they learn more about you, a couple of them might drop out the bottom and turn into customers, as you see. So that's a pretty common marketing approach. How do we sort of do that on LinkedIn? I sort of talk about, first of all, a profile. Actually, before I get into all of this, who thinks their profile is fully optimized? Okay, I am talking to the right people. That's good. Okay, so I want you to think about your profile as, yes, it is a CV, but I want you to think about it more as a website about you, and position what you're saying in your profile to be client-centric. Now, a lot of you have probably thought about LinkedIn as, the online CV, a place that recruiters go to if they want to employ you for a role or what have you. Of course, yes, it can be. But I can tell you, if that's you, any potential employer wants to know what you could do for them, the employer. So client-centric could be your clients, or it could be potentially your next role. So think about how you position yourself, and try not to let it sound like a boring CV or sound like an obituary. Kym has done this and Kym has done that, and first person. And I talk about yourself, and that can be hard, but use ChatGPT, use AI. AI is pretty good at that. Think and put it in the first person and talk about, well, I'm really passionate about X, Y, and Z, and that means I can deliver these results for my clients, rather than Kym is a coach and she's worked in the corporate world. There's a real difference to that sort of approach. So attracting people by your personal profile. As I said, we'll go to company pages a bit in a moment, but then you've got to connect with people. It's not enough to have just a fabulous profile that looks pretty, but connect with ideal customers. Now, you've got to know who your ideal customer is or who you want to connect with. It could be finding lots of local businesses on the Sunshine Coast. So your search functionality, you could use your filters to basically search for businesses on the Sunshine Coast. Or you might want to only connect with, your ideal client might be an executive in Sydney, and so you can search on that and then try and connect with people and network with them. And I want you to think about sharing your knowledge. Don't keep it to yourself. What I see a lot on LinkedIn, particularly from businesses on the Sunshine Coast, is lots of, hey, we had this fabulous event. Great. I love that you went to an event. What I want to know is, what were your key takeaways from that event? What really stood out to you? What's an insight that you can share with your audience about that event you went to? So that's perhaps a little project for you tonight. What were the insights that really stuck out for you? You can go into content a little bit more, but there's so many things you can do. And another way to expand your network is to tag people. So you've met lots of new people tonight. You've connected with them. If you do want to put a little post up saying, had this fabulous night at LinkedIn Local, this is what I took away, you can tag the people that you met, so that then those people's connections see your post as well, and they think, oh, who is this person? And they click on you, and you actually build your network organically that way as well. So tagging people works really, really well. And then that consistent content. So one of the things I was thinking about driving here tonight was sort of preempting in my head, what sort of questions might I get tonight? And by all means, if you've got a burning question, you might as well ask me as we go. We have got time at the end, but you can ask me. But one of the burning questions that everyone always asks me is, what content's the best? What's going to get most attention? How do I fool the algorithm? How do I get shown in more people's feeds? It's the question on everybody's mind, whether it's LinkedIn or other platforms. There's no black or white answer to that, but what I can tell you is LinkedIn loves consistency. Now, consistency might be every day, might be once a week, might be once a month, but probably a bit more than once a month. 2 or 3 times a week is great consistency, and it loves engagement. So as you learn to find the content that your network likes, and they start to engage with it, and you engage with them, that's what LinkedIn likes. It likes to see that this has been a valuable piece of content in the feed. Not just how many likes, but how many comments. And if someone comments on your post, comment back. Or at least just say, thanks for commenting, thanks for coming along, thanks for acknowledging. And then, of course, at the end of the day, what you want to do from that person that seems to be commenting all the time is actually send them a quick, a direct message and try and get them on a phone call. Now, I'm going to ask, and I've already forgotten your name. Bet, sorry, Ben. My son's name, I'm sorry about that. What do you find works well for you in terms of sharing content or frequency or type of content?
Yeah, on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I do a fair bit of video, so that grew quite quickly for me. I've got probably 10,000, I think, connections on LinkedIn, so I found that helped grow that. Commenting on other people's posts, definitely helping me. And then something a little bit ordinary, like the whole Marty Sheer golf stuff down in Melbourne last week about female athletes versus male athletes. I've got a daughter, so I got pretty grumpy about that, so I put a post up, and I think that had 100 comments or 100 likes within about an hour and a half. It was a bit different and a bit unique, and it was pretty genuine. I was pretty pissed off. So yeah, that type of stuff. So real heartfelt stuff.
Awesome, thanks for that, Ben. Did you all hear that? So video. I'm going to say that a lot tonight, video. Another question I always get asked, what sort of content? Video, guys. Real, authentic, behind the scenes, walking down the street. If you can bring yourself to do that, and I know a lot of people think, I can't do that, just try it. Just a normal video, just a portrait video, doesn't have to be landscape or anything fancy, just a portrait video. If you can put captions on it, even better, and very, very short and sweet. The attention span's about 3 or 4 seconds. That's all you've got to get someone's attention. So if you can do a video that's 30 seconds or less, bingo. We used to say 2 minutes. In fact, we used to say 3 minutes, then we brought it down to 2 minutes, and now we're saying, definitely in LinkedIn, we're saying 30 seconds. Video, commenting on a very topical thing. If you're brave enough to get involved in something controversial, if you've got a point of view and you've got insights, go for it, so long as it feeds nicely into what you do and who you are and what you stand for and your values. Yes?
Kym, can I just ask you, you know how on Facebook you can tag everyone or tag top fans or tag followers. Does that work on LinkedIn?
Really good question. I don't know the answer. I don't think it does. Luke, would you know?
You can tag individuals and companies, but not top fans.
Yeah. Thank God for that. I don't know how many times I have left a group because someone has said, here's a at everybody. I'm like, no, bingo, leave the group, which is really good. I've cleaned up my feed. It's good. Like it. Okay, so just as we have a marketing funnel, I team that up with what's the best way to move people through your funnel of organic attraction on LinkedIn. Yeah.
I noticed you said relevant hashtags, and across different social platforms last year or two, I've seen the death of hashtag and how you use hashtags and overusing it. And I've even was at a LinkedIn. Some of your colleagues did it online for another week, saying basically one hashtag, if that, you don't even really need them.
Yeah, I actually just when that slide popped up, I thought, I should have taken that off. Hashtags are not dead; they're less relevant on your posts. I use hashtags to sort of draw attention to something. So, for example, if I put a post up about an entrepreneurial business on the Sunshine Coast, I might put hashtag women in business, hashtag women entrepreneurs, just for fun more than anything. Not that I expect people to follow that hashtag, but you might follow a hashtag if you think that there are going to be people using that hashtag that you could then connect to and expand your network.
Yeah.
So I know it's not quite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right, this is what we all came for, right? So how am I going for time, Luke? Okay, on for time. Awesome. Okay, lots of new features. Some may not be so new to you, and I know that some of you are probably already using these things, but there's a couple of things around company pages. As a small business, particularly if you are your business, so Kym Cousins Coaching, for example, some people might think, why would I create a company page? It doesn't cost you anything. It's very easy. Why do I create a company page? Well, I might actually create a company page called Kym Cousins Coaching. It's not really a company, it's not really a business, but it's me, and it's what I do. So I have a personal profile that talks all about me and my expertise, but then a company page will talk about the services I provide. It might be products you sell. And what's a little different now is that there are premium company pages. And I've just gone blank what premium gives you. Who's got a premium company page? No. Have a look at it. You do have to pay for it. It gives you more of what you get with a normal one. Sorry, I just forgot what was it. The other thing that's new is that you can comment, and basically you can bring your company page to life. So I know that some people are not as comfortable commenting on people's posts, but if you comment as your company page and follow people as your company page, then you can be your brand as opposed to you, the personal brand. Is that a little bit convoluted?
Got it.
I've got Jaya in mind because I remember when Jaya created a LinkedIn page a couple of years ago, or someone had created it for you. It was Empire Art Photography, and I said, you're meant to create your profile as you, but have Empire Art Photography as a company page. Have you done that now?
I just don't think it's done right. I've got both.
Yeah.
I don't think it's done right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't hang out there a lot.
I have.
For those who are now going to look for Empire Art Photography, don't go there.
I haven't looked at it for a while, so yeah. So that's just. But LinkedIn Local Sunshine Coast engages a lot as itself. And I know there's a few people in the room who are admins on LinkedIn Local Sunshine Coast. I am. Me? Okay. But I do see LinkedIn Local Sunshine Coast commenting on posts and connecting. And it's a good way to get followers on that company page. So some people are more comfortable building up followers on the company page than they are on their personal page. And there can be many different reasons for that. And I know that I have met people that said because things have happened in the past, They want to be their company, they don't want to be themselves. And I get that. There's sort of lots of reasons for it. So that's a bit of a new thing, commenting and engaging as your company page. Lots of AI content tools, as I mentioned. There are also newsletters. So who here has a newsletter on LinkedIn? A couple of people also. Ben has as well. Yeah, cool. So I'll go back to articles. You can write an article on LinkedIn, a bit like a blog, and you can send that out to people and you can post it as a post. Then there are newsletters where you build, again, building the community around your brand, you can invite people to follow your newsletter. Now, there's probably people with newsletters that might send them out on MailChimp or other databasey type things. Perfectly fine. You can use the same newsletter, but do it on LinkedIn. You don't have to recreate completely. Jaya?
So my question is, if you have a blog on your website and you drop a link into LinkedIn, do you get punished for the link? Like, would they prefer you to create it in LinkedIn?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it punished, but yes. LinkedIn likes you to stay on LinkedIn. So anytime you put any link that takes you off to an event or a blog or anything like that, it'll take people there, not a problem. But once they're off and they've gone somewhere else, they've gone. So if you can keep them engaged on your profile and on your platform, you'll have more visibility to who those people are. But both are fine.
Is the newsletter a premium feature or the free LinkedIn offer? Is it part of the free LinkedIn offer?
Yeah, I think it's free. It's free. The thing about a newsletter is that you invite people to follow it, and so when you send out a new newsletter, they get notified that you've got a newsletter.
Just your followers?
Just those who have subscribed to your newsletter, but it will come up. You can it'll be a post in your feed as well.
Does that apply when you link LinkedIn and CRM systems as well? Is it with the once you're gone from LinkedIn, you're gone? I've got a customer relationship management system.
Describe how you would get people.
Well, more. My biggest problem with my use of LinkedIn and why I can't record the conversations that I've had into a customer relationship management tool that reminds me to go back to that and gives me updates on what I've been doing.
Luke, have you got had an experience with CRMs connected to LinkedIn to capture engagement?
A little. Maybe a conversation after the event. But yeah,
Thank you.
there are ways.
He's the man. Yep.
So I've got a LinkedIn personal profile as well as company page. When I post, what's the best way to post? Should I be posting on the company page and then sharing that post with my profile, or the other way around?
You can do either or. As I said, because we've now got this sort of more of a focus on company pages, some people have, it depends what the post is, to be honest. If it's about something you've done, you perhaps want to post it as you can share it onto your company page. Can you do both at the same time? You tick both? You can. That's what I thought.
LinkedIn will still ask you to write an individual post after you do your personal, like a company post. So a company post, then it'll invite you to do a personal post. So you could technically use the same content, but you should adjust it.
But you can just, it's a reshare anyway. If you are doing a post about the product you sell, the service you sell, maybe you'd want it to go on your company page.
That's what I do when I share it from my company
Yeah.
page to my own
It's
page,
either
so
or.
then I do extra comments, yeah.
And it might depend on how many followers you have on your company page.
I've just started it. The number of followers is quite low compared to my personal profile. So, yeah, I usually share on my personal, but I'm starting to share as well.
So your job after tonight is to invite followers. So all of your connections, you can invite 100 people a month or 250 if it's premium. You can invite them to follow your company page if you want to build up followers on the company page.
So that your existing connections, you can invite them.
Yes, if they are connections.
Yeah.
Was there another question here? Okay. Cool, thanks for the questions, this is really good. Where are we? Business manager, so has anyone dabbled in paid advertising? How was that for you?
On behalf of other people.
Okay.
For me, myself.
Yeah,
In
okay.
my apartment.
Cool. Someone else's wallet? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
It's known as being expensive, and there's lots of reasons for that. It's the targeting, it's the way that advertising, bidding, and a whole lot of technical stuff, and it's probably not something that anyone here would necessarily do. Luke, any comment about that?
I've tested it with promoting events, and I've tested it boosting as well. Boosting is relatively new for LinkedIn. It actually did quite well, so posting newsletters actually really helped drive higher impressions in higher subscribers by boosting a newsletter. And then promoting events, I still get way better results on Facebook versus LinkedIn, but it's still helpful as a part of the mix. But in terms of doing a proper lead gen campaign with it, I want to do ads if I didn't already be playing with Sales Navigator and kind of making sure that that kind of lead gen is in place, and then put ads on top of it. There's a lot to play with, I guess, on the ad side.
Yeah.
So I at the moment I just keep experimenting and playing and learning from it.
Awesome. Well, we can learn from Luke as he experiments on those. LinkedIn events, audio rooms, you can use LinkedIn's tools to do that, so you don't need any extra. Then, if you notice that you've got two inboxes, you've got focused and other, thank God all those spammy ones go to the other inbox, which is really cool. You can now edit your message and recall your message. You never used to be able to do that. That's a relatively new thing over the last few months. Because I often type things, so my fingers work faster than my brain, and I often have to go back and correct my typos. And what have we got? Product listings. So yes, so talking about company pages, this is where you would perhaps list your products or your services that you do, so that anyone that is interested who is professionally stalking you can actually find your company page and what do they actually do? They provide this service, that service, this product. So again, it's there, but you don't have to always be promoting it or selling it, but it just sits, it's, as I said, mini website stuff. And we've talked about the articles, and you can use some AI tools to help you with those articles. So any thoughts, questions?
I've got a question. What's the best way of learning Sales Navigator? Because I'm at the stage of wanting to learn that before I do that. So what would you recommend? What would you suggest? Is a good way of going about that doesn't take too much time?
I'm sure there would be a LinkedIn learning course, or Google it, and there would be some YouTubes. Luke, any thoughts? Learning, how do you learn more about Sales Navigator, how it works?
Yeah, I would LinkedIn Learning. Yeah, if you're paying for Sales Navigator, you'll get access to LinkedIn Learning.
My first port of call for anything is to ask Google or ask AI. And it might send you somewhere where you can get more information.
Just a question. I keep on getting a prompt to take on a month's free premium service. Is it worth doing it for that month, even if you know you're probably not going to continue it? Or
The thing is, once you get it, you won't want to give it up. But if we've got business cards gathered, have we gathered business cards tonight? Yeah. So tonight I've got a lucky door prize, which is 6 months worth of premium for free. Hopefully we can channel for you to get that. I mean, any 1 month free trial of any of these software things are really designed to get you hooked, let's face it. But it also will depend on whether you're going to use those features. So extra search functionality, extra invites, things like that. Mind you, you might be able to just use it for a month and get what you need and turn it off again.
I was just going to say I've done that, and it's useful if you, but the most useful thing I found is that I can see who's viewing my profile, which is useful in my line of business, so I can contact them. But to be honest with you, I had a free month and it's remained free for about 5 months. So I reckon just take it.
Love it, love it. Let's move it along. All right, so I just wanted to get a little bit more into these company pages. So this is the B2B Sunshine Coast company page. Has anyone never seen a company page? You've all seen company pages? Awesome. All right, so this is an example of a company page. And did you know that this little bell symbol, if you see a company page or a profile and it's got a bell on it, if you click on it, then you're telling LinkedIn that you want to see every time this person or page posts. So this is a good way to fill your feed with the stuff you really do want to see. So then, thinking about some of the key things about company pages and why it's a really good idea to have one, is that you get more page views, so more views to you. And you want to, as I said, you want to treat it like a bit of a mini website, searchable words, googly words. I call it being Googleicious, and add a link to your actual website if you have one. And you can have a call to action button. So do you want them to book a meeting with you on Calendly? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to join your mailing list, etc., etc.? So there's a few things. Now, the premium company pages, you've got call to action, you've got who's visited your page. So yes, you've got visited your profile, but who's visited your company page? That's a new thing. You can just, the testimonial, there's a lot more content that you can actually have on your company page. You've got your AI tools, and you can auto-invite your connections to follow your page, so you don't have to sit there and think about who am I going to invite this month. As I said, you can invite people anyway. What we're saying is that as soon as you start to get to that point of 150 followers on your company page, it's a real tipping point. The research has shown. So your mission is to get 150 followers or more on your company page. And there are analytics. So we're talking about who's viewed your company page, what's happened with your posts, what impressions have you had. I don't know if you can see that from there. You can see the little graph, for example, could probably tell you what was happening at that time that you had this spike in views. Did you have a good post? Did you put video up? Was it controversial commenting? It really gives you that insight behind what's happening on your company page. So there's some really cool features there that you can use. So top tips. And by the way, you can get access to these slides. They'll be sent to everybody. Is that what? Like the QR code, if you want these slides, you can access them by the QR code. Post consistently is what we've talked about. Now, a couple of things I've mentioned, video. Carousels are really trending at the moment. Yeah, Jonathan's saying yes. Cool, I'm glad you agree. So carousels, and just, I can remember back to probably the one post that has had the most following on my LinkedIn page was about a few years ago. It was International Women's Day, so it's pretty timely. I put a really lovely photo of myself with my daughter, and I just mentioned International Women's Day. I did it with Canva. It was all very pretty, but everyone just commented because it was such a fabulous photo of my daughter and myself, and talked about mother-daughter bond and all these sorts of great things around that post. People want to see you. They don't want to see stock images. They don't want to see AI-created images. Very tempting. They just want to see the real you and who you are and who you're with and what it really means to them. Things like the day in your life of your business, behind the scenes. And the way to grow, which we've already mentioned, is tag people in your posts, respond to all the comments, and then understand how you're reaching people and what your audience is. So it's a bit of a shameless plug for those company pages. A couple of people taking photos. You're going to like the next couple of slides as well.
Can I just ask about the carousel? That's the cover image you're saying is a carousel now?
No, it's where you've got 2 or 3 images that you click through.
Oh, for an article.
For a post, yeah.
For a post.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, feel free to take a photo of this. People say to me, well, I don't have any ideas for what to post. Well, there's 30 of them. And even if you just picked out one that you particularly liked and that you used that type of post over and over again, I'd say go for it. Day in the life. My daughter, who's 20, obviously Instagram's her platform of choice, but she just says, "Oh, Mum, we just want to see it real." That's why reality television, even though that's not real, but reality television, people want to see what they think is really happening in the background. I'm missing it tonight too. So there's lots of things. Now, what's a couple of things I can pull out from here that I love most? Just resharing is good. Reshare someone else's content. Reshare other thought leaders in your industry. But put your point of view and your insights. Because it says, do you want to just reshare this or do you want to reshare it with comments? Can I just implore you to always put with comments on it? Otherwise, what's the point of resharing? It's just like... So you can get access to these slides. All right, just a really, really quick one to finish off with. So I follow a woman by the name of Brooke Bellamy, who is a baker. She started off, there's a couple of nods. I'm a big fan. She's a baker. She started off making cookies from a shop in Brisbane, and she started posting day in the life of a baker. On Instagram, I must admit, so it's not a LinkedIn necessarily story, but the concept is the same. And so that's basically how she started. And she has built this huge business where you can buy cookies online, which I have. She's opened up pop-up shops and a whole brand new store at Chermside in Brisbane. But I thought, I wonder if she's on LinkedIn. And she's got herself and the company page on LinkedIn as well. And the content that she shares there are some similarities to what she shares on Instagram. Same thing, day in a life. Talks about her cookbook and people that have used her cookbook and some of the ingredients she does. And she even shared her whole pregnancy and how she manages to do all of that with running a business. And she shares about her staff and all sorts of things. So it's like you feel very, very connected for these very, very yummy, very expensive cookies that I will buy online because they're amazing. Had I not seen her on a social media platform, I would not have ever known about her. She has got a cult following. So wouldn't it be amazing if your business had a cult following? All right, finishing off. Love all your questions. If you've got any more, we might have a bit of time. So think about a growth engine for you. It's not just something for your CV anymore. It's something you can really leverage to grow your business. So the couple of things you need to do. I asked you at the beginning, who's got an optimised profile? What does an optimised profile mean? That's the subject of a whole other presentation. But think about completing it, putting a good photo, headshot, putting a banner at the top. Use Canva free version if you want to. That helps you to create really cool posts. Professional image, build credibility, and use words that you want to be Googled for. So be Googlicious. Who are you? What's your expertise? Share it and engage with people who comment or engage with you. And build that community of followers around your brand, just like Brookie Bakehouse. She's got this huge community of followers. And so every time she has a new cookie experiment, she'll tell you how she makes it. And she shares she's got a cookbook, so she's actually given away all her recipes. So in theory, I could make all her cookies myself. But am I going to? Not a chance. I'd rather read her cookbook and order her cookies. So, thank you for all your questions. Do we have any other questions? Ian?
Yes, just on the company page, it said there you can grow the followers by having an auto follow, I think, is it?
Yeah, when you've got a premium company page, what it will do is that when you connect with somebody, it would automatically invite them to follow your page.
So
I haven't done it myself, but that's pretty much how it works.
Is there any way you can grow followers on your personal page?
Yeah, in the same way, no, not in the same way. Just by connecting, inviting people to connect.
Does she make gluten-free cookies?
Yeah, I think she does. Pretty sure she does. Justine.
This verifying, what does that actually mean? Is it important to do?
Verifying is telling the world that you are who you are. It's basically saying that you are a trusted, verified person on LinkedIn and that you're not a bot or someone impersonating you. It's really the concept behind it.
So, they do ask you really personal questions when you go into them, and that's a bit scary, but that's secure.
Does it work? I've only got it twice. Yeah. It doesn't work. 3 times on that. Won't scan mine.
Yeah, that was my brother's story.
Could it be to do with maiden name versus current name versus anything like that?
Without any of that.
Yeah.
Same as everyone else.
I mean, it's not mandatory or anything like that. It's just another level of that trust and security that LinkedIn really is quite bullish about.
Yeah, it seems like passport seems to be the only identification it'll accept.
It won't scan. It
And-
can't find the chip. Wherever the hell the chip is, it tells me where it is, and it just doesn't trust me.
So my issue was my passport just expired, and I tried to verify it, and there's nothing else to use as identification,
Yeah.
which is weird. It's like driver's license or birth certificate. So that would be something.
I'd probably just Google why won't LinkedIn scan? Why doesn't LinkedIn?
Trust me, I spent time working
I'm
out-
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so maybe you can tell someone in your world.
How do you get customer service support for that?
Just got a question. It's involving my head versus personal profile versus company versus content. Like, if you were putting it concisely, what would you say? Like, this is, I know personal, but it's like, you know what I mean? To me, it's a very close.
So your question was really?
What's the difference in the content? Like, you know, you have a piece of content. What's your key differentiator between that's my personal versus that's my company?
I think it's a personal preference, but it is. What do you do? So,
Workplace well-being.
consulting, coaching.
Yeah.
Okay, consulting, coaching, workplace well-being. Content about you could be what excites you about workplace well-being, what's your experience, how have you helped your clients. Your company page might be, I offer courses or workshops or
Drier content.
drier content. That's probably not a bad way to put it, actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope that helps. But it is preference. And if you're sitting there trying to decide which one to use, and that's taking up a lot of thinking space, don't even think. Just put it wherever you want it, because it's better than not posting.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Leanne.
We've got a workshop coming up with the University of Sunshine Coast on cyber security for your business. And I hear everything that you're saying and all the reasons why, but then on the flip side, I'm hearing, like my financial advisor is saying that he's pulling himself and all of his team off social media for business protection reasons, and he doesn't want any personal information about his staff or himself out there in the marketplace, because potential hackers could use some of that to access private data on clients and hack into the systems. So I'm at the point where I'm feeling quite torn about all of this. How do you rationalise what we should be doing and how much we should share?
Well, that's a very big question for me to offer insights. My personal reaction to that is lock down the data that you don't want to share, or don't share what you feel is not beneficial. So a company page could share the 4557, have they got a page?
Yes.
Yeah, 4557 could share the event and everything else. It doesn't have to be you sharing it. So no one's seeing you. But as soon as any of those people in your financial planning organisation comment or engage on anything, it's already out there, even if they haven't posted themselves. Lock down as much as you want to, privacy settings and controls. Don't have your contact details. There's a bunch of things you can do to contain that information. But if it's already been out there, it's out there. It's a bit of a, I don't know. Would you have any comment about that?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I would just suggest is policies is what will address a lot of that. So having a very clear social media strategy, very clear on what can and can't be shared, being really clear on like password management as well. So really where the risk is there is if staff members have the same password for Facebook as they do their corporate emails, that's problematic. So you want to have good training around password management, around security access, clarity around the devices that they use. It's the policy piece. So it's not. The way I want to phrase it is, I need to escape social media to protect my business. That's not really, particularly for a lot of people in the room. That's not the way to approach it. It's about being really clear on what are those risks and having plans to mitigate it. And often for a lot of that, it's like just having better password management would fix a lot of that, and a few other sort of bits and pieces. So cool. But I do want to wrap up. So do you have a final thought you want to share, Kym, before we move on? Final thought?
Not really, except thank you very much for all of your amazing questions, and thank you for those that I sort of asked for a little bit of input. That sort of helps a lot. Just give it a go. Google everything. Google yourself and see what comes up. The first thing that will come up is your LinkedIn profile, so you want to make it a good one. And I was going to say, if you have any more questions, reach out to me. I'll try and help you as best I can, or you can reach out to Luke, put you in instead. But connect with me. So thanks very much, everyone.